Good day, everyone. My topic is all about the instructional design models. The objectives. At the end of the discussions, the students must identify the components of an instructional design model, apply the steps of the instructional design model to create a learning activity, and explain the value of using an instructional design model in teachings. Guide questions. Number 1. What is instructional design model and why is it important in creating effective learning experiences? Number 2. How do the major instructional design models like ADDIE, SAMR, backward design, and Assure differ in their structure and approach? Number 3. In what way do instructional design models support inclusivity and accessibility for all learners? Number 4. What are the most common problems across major instructional design models? And number 5, how does integrating different models help teachers address diverse learning styles and needs? So, instructional design combines education, behavioral psychology, and communication strategies to create the most effective training designs for specific groups of learners. This focus is important because it means that the learners receive instruction in a form that most impactful and meaningful to them, specifically allowing them to better understand the topics and concept being taught. While instructional design is the foundation for creating training materials, it's about more than just writing curriculum. So, good instructional design consider how students learn and what materials, methods, and technologies will most effectively change behavior. It considers how learning tools should be designed, developed, and delivered to learners, and is effective in crafting learning experiences. The example, consider cooking as learning context. Instead of merely providing a recipe or the curriculum, an instructional design model will guide the cooking instructor on how to teach the recipe effectively. So, instructional design daw kay mo siya o curriculum nga mo guides the teacher to teach the recipe effectively. So, it considers the learner's current cooking skills, the best methods to demonstrate techniques, example, videos, hands-on, and practice, the right kitchen tools to use, and how to structure the lesson step by step so ang mga learners maka-understand and can replicate the dish successfully. Instructional design ensures learners gain the skills needed to cook the dish, not just read about it, making the learning experience practical and effective. Next is the major instructional design models. The first is ADDIE model. ADDIE model has been the most popular ID model used. ID or ID model used. This model serves as a basis for the other models developed. It is an iterative instructional design process, which means that the end product of one phase is the starting product of the next phase. ADDIE model stages. Analysis. This initial phase involves understanding the target's audience and the needs for the training. So before involving in analysis, you should understand the target audience and the needs for the training. Then next is design. In this phase, you plan the learning solution, including objectives, content, activities, and assessment methods. So in this phase, you should plan ahead, including the objectives, content, and para flows. Then next is development. This is where the actual course, materials, and content are created based on the design specifications. The next is implementation. This stage involves delivering the training program to the target audience. Then evaluation. The final phase assesses the effectiveness of the training program, often through a combination of formative and summative evaluations. So the example is, the students analyze the recipe and discuss the needed ingredients. So this is analysis. Then they then plan how they would prepare and cook the lumpia with clear objectives, so design. Next, they develop a list of materials and preferred the ingredients. Then that is development. Then during implementation, they cook the lumpia by groups while the teachers guided them. Then finally, they tested their product and answered a short quiz about safety practices, so that is evaluation. Next is SAMR model. The SAMR model, which stands for substitution, augmentation, modification, and redefinition, is a framework created by Dr. Ruben Fuentedora that categorizes 4 different degrees of classroom technology integration. Substitutions. In this stage, technology is used directly to substitute for a more traditional one. So mga substitution kay mag-use directly of technology. Then augmentation, the technology is substituted for a traditional one, but with significant enhancements to the student's experience. Then modification, instead of replacement or enhancement, change is observed in the design of the lesson and its learning outcome. Then redefinition, in this stage, technology tools allows educators and practitioners to create a novel learning experience, thereby redefining a traditional task in a way that would not be possible without. So for more understandable, this is the example. Students downloaded the lumpia recipe from Google Classroom. So instead of receiving a printed copy, or which is the substitution, they watch a video tutorial with Filipino caption before cooking. So that is augmentation. Then they recorded their cooking process and uploaded it to the class Facebook group for feedback or modification, or they uploaded it in Google Classroom. Then finally, they created a short TikTok video teaching others how to cook lumpia using affordable ingredients and shared it on the school's online page. That is redefinition. So next model is backward design model by Wiggins and McTighe. When using the backward design approach to instructional design, teachers consider the learning goals of the course before planning assessment. So teacher kay i-consider ang learning goals of the course before mag-plan sa assessment. Kung kaya ra ba sa estudyante. Then teachers plan how student will engage with the content through interesting learning experiences. This type of planning makes backward design a much more intentional approach to course design than traditional methods of design. So, 1. Identify desired result. 2. Determine acceptable evidence. And number 3. Plan learning experiences and instruction. The example of this, the teacher started by telling students that the goal is to produce lumpia that meets quality standards. So that is stage 1, identify desired result. Then students knew they would be graded based on tests, presentations, and food safety and required to submit a reflection photo of their product. So that is stage 2, determine acceptable evidence. Then to achieve this, they joined a demo, cooked in groups, and reflected on what they learned. So that is stage 3, plan learning experiences. The next model is Assure. The Assure model was developed by Heinrich, Molinda, Russell, and Smaldino in 1999, and it's an instructional model for planning a lesson and the technology that will enhance it. The letters in Assure form an acronym. Number 1, analyze the learners. So who are students? Who are our students? What are their needs? And what are their learning styles? So in analyze the learners, you should know the students first. Then number 2, state the objectives. The specific objectives should be the focus of individual lessons. Students should be informed of these objectives at the beginning of the class. So very important to state the objectives because these objectives if mamit ba nimo mong goal ana nga lessons. Then number 3, select method, media, or materials. Before choosing the media and materials to help teach a lesson, the teachers needs to select a method for delivering the instructions. So before daw choosing the media or materials to help teach lesson, so ang teacher kay mo select a method for the instruction. So they are daghan kayo og kuan kanang method ay daghan kayo og ways para mo deliver the instruction. Then the media could include technology solutions, print resources such as textbook. So mao ni mga methods: textbook, video conferencing, or any combination of the various media types. Number 4 is utilize media and materials. In this step, the lesson is taught and the media and materials are implemented. So kaning step na kay natudlo na ang kanang lesson, then ang media and materials kay na-implement. The number 5 is require learners' participation. So students find learning more meaningful when they are actively involved in the learning process. The teachers may also ask students about the kinds of activities and technology to engage them. So very important po is requires learner participation. So we must kanang find the lesson in engagement kay aron dili boringan ang mga students. Then they also ask question kay aron maka-understand gid sila. So the example is the teachers apply the Assure model by analyzing. So the example is the teacher applies the Assure model by analyzing that students have basic cooking skills, then set objectives for identifying ingredients, preparing, wrapping, and frying lumpia safely. So the teachers uses a video tutorial, a recipe chart, and cooking tools, demonstrates the process, and then lets students work in groups to make lumpia. So finally, the teachers evaluates the output using a rubric for taste, appearance, and safety, and gives feedback for improvement. Instructional design models support inclusivity and accessibility. Why? Because by incorporating flexible learning methods such as providing alternative formats for content, offering personal feedback, and tailoring activities to diverse needs, which helps remove barriers for all learners and creates more equitable, engaging, and sense of belonging in the learning environment. The underlying principle is a learner-centered approach that anticipates and addresses the variability in learners' characteristic preference and abilities. The next is for understanding of learners' needs, skills, and backgrounds, making content less relevant. So, if ang students kay, di wa kasabot ana or yung skills anang kanang lesson na, so mo gina nga makalas relevant sa imong content or lesson. Then, information overload that overwhelms learners and reduces retention. Masobra ana pud nimo ang information anang imong lesson, na possible ana nga ang imong learners kay ma-overwhelm, then ma-reduce retention kay maboringan naman sila sa kataas sa imong lesson. Then, lack of engagement elements. So, it causing learners disengagement. So, kung lack pod engagement mo, yung elements sa unsa pa na nga maka like kuan, wala kay icebreaker or something nga makapa-engage siya kanang kuan imong learners, so mao na maka-cause with the learners nga maboring sa imong discussion. Then time, budget, and technical constraints limiting design quality. O pareha nang sa maggama ka og online, di ba uban nga sa online like mga PPT or Canva, lagay uban nga kanang design kay nga mga nice kay premium. So then pod sa time kay kung limit ra pud imong time paggamana kay mo pud maka constraint nimo. Then sa budget pod, then insufficient feedback mechanism for learners to correct misunderstandings. So insufficient feedback mechanism kay ano siya. So kailangan jud ang students kay mag-ask this question kay mo pud makakuan kanang makakuan sa learners. So kailangan jud nimo ipa na sila question i-ask and good makasabot pud sila. Then this issue commonly challenge instructional designers regardless of the specific model they use, affecting the overall effectiveness and learner experience. So next is integrating different instructional design models helps teachers address diverse learning styles and needs by offering multiple approaches to learning. Some models focus on technology like SAMR, others on objectives like ADDIE, and some on student-centered planning backward design. Combining them gives students different ways to learn. So, sa mga models, lalahi sila. Sa technology, ka SMR, sa objectives, like lesson, like sa lesson is ADDIE, then kung mag student-centered planning kay sa backward design. Then supporting individual differences. Models like Azure emphasize analyzing learners while others focus on accessibility. Together, they allow teachers to adjust lesson for students with different abilities and preference. So, para sa Azure, may emphasize siya sa mag-analyze sa learners first, then mag-focus on accessibility unsay makaya sa learners. So, together, they allow teachers to adjust lesson for students kay maka-adjust sa lesson kay ila mag-analyze una. Next is balancing structure and flexibility. A single model may be too rigid, but integrating models lets teachers adapt to various contexts such as online, blended, or face-to-face learning. Enhancing engagement. Some models encourage interactive activities while others stress clear goals and assessment, making them lesson both engaging and purposeful. Then, improving inclusivity. Combining models ensures lessons meet the needs of visual, auditory, kinesthetic learners and those with special needs. All is a DLE teacher combines ADDIE, Azure, SAMR, and backward design in a fresh lumpia, making lesson by setting clear objectives, analyzing students' needs, using technology for video tutorials, and planning the final product first. So this integration support visual learners through videos, kinesthetic learners through hands-on, cooking, and tech-savvy learners through video editing, making a lesson inclusive and engaging. That will be all. Thank you for listening.